Previously in Elements of War.
Right now we have Lila roaming around. Now we have Infinity. What about the Fae problem? They're beginning to act a bit irresponsibly. It's beginning to affect the material plane. The Chillmond, and I need it dealt with. I doubt you want to be going back to the Chillmond in shackles. Find a man from me. The name's Midnight, by the way. You are good people. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. Alright, you come with us.
Oh my god, we're back in it!
You can call me Lina. I think I have something to do with whatever's going on at the Fae.
Motherfucker, I need to get out of here.
Scene starts with a library. Very quiet, empty library. It seems to be run by an Alkin. She is a little shorter, looking at about 5.5 feet than a normal commoner's garb. She has some very beautiful brown feathers. She is reading away at a book, the only sounds being simple turns of pages until eventually there's a door swinging open. Smaller figure, pink hood, Miss Lila stepping in, make her way in, look around, scan the area. And Alkin actually perks up and seems to greet her. Oh, hello there. Is there anything I can help you find today? Lila slowly stepping through the library. She brings her attention to the Alkin. Actually, yes. I was wondering if you had any books on elements of war. Alkin furrow her brows a bit. Yeah, there aren't really many books about them. I mean, you could certainly take a look. We do have an aisle for all the gods. You might be able to find something there. Lila, her tone seems to darken. Why not? Alkin is nervous, but a little confused. Well, nobody has really found any information on them. I mean, they are very secluded, and at this point, her sentence is cut off. Lila reaches up, grabbing her, pulls her in. Tell me what you know about them. Alkin, now scrabbling at her throat, trying to get a moment to breathe. They're the calculus elemental, even though most gods don't have. And you can see at that point, it's like a slap. Lila just, as Alkin's head just becomes ash. Some misty rubble flies. A lifeless corpse just falls to the ground. Lila takes a handful of the ash, lets it fall out of her hand. She begins to walk and examine some of the closer shelves. She seems to mutter to herself, I will find them. I will find you, all of you. For what you've done to me, I will pay back tenfold. She takes her hand and searches through the books before throwing the books off the shelf, swiping them off. The whole shelf becomes an ashy, deteriorated version, and it just easily crumbles from her hand. Books start to fall, shelves fall apart and begin to scatter. You guys and your newly acquired friend Lina, you all are running through. As it didn't take too much longer, you guys escape. The guards begin to take notice. You guys are in a hot pursuit. Lina taking the flank to defend off any kind of ranged attack. Point of notice that puts you at a bit of alarm. These guards, they have magic at their disposal. Some spells hurling and flying your way. Lina set out every now and then like a torrent of flames just to erupt. Enough to cause any destructive spells to explode as they meet in contact. You guys run and run and run. You're gonna realize prison is decently big. The more you run, the more you begin to realize it's, especially going through it quickly, it's like a labyrinth. You're running, you actually come up on a split. You can go left, right, or forward. You guys immediately start running right. You hear the hollow, heavy footsteps of Lina behind you guys. Amira, you're running, you feel something wash over you. Your body tenses, you paralyze. You fall over. You guys watch as Amira fall. She's completely paralyzed.
Oh crap! Can I try and pick Amira up?
I have what's the restoration?
Absolutely, yeah. You want to spend a spell slot, do that?
Yeah.
Eris, you manage to kind of step over there. You give Amira a quick smack. Amira, you immediately jump to your feet, unparalyzed. You are back on the run. Eris and Amira do seem to hang back just slightly. They're not behind Lina, struggling to get back in front of her. You guys are running.
I know you said they're a little bit behind. I don't know if my mantle of inspiration would make them come here faster.
Hey, you can decide if you want to.
Okay.
Eris and Amira catch up. Alright guys, you got a choice. Forward or left as you start heading forward. You guys have been running down hallways now. It is exhausting to be running at full sprint. You guys go forward and forward. There's like a mix of guards now. Armored individuals, arrows are starting to fly and head your way. Some of them are getting their swords ready. But you're also starting to notice that there's scholarly mage, like robes. One of them you see make the gestures and just giant torrent of flames goes flying. You watch as it soars over Lina's shoulder and then like right in her face just explodes. It's 20-foot radius fireball. Lina is fine because she's a fire sentinel's child. Bee, not so much. Bee, taking 24 points of fire damage. You do your best, Bee. You hear it and you're like wiggling around, but you can't. You're so restricted. Your arms and legs are just bound. You guys are running and running, doing your best to evade. Lina doing her best to shield them away. You can hear her yelps in pain a few times. Some of the arrows begin sticking to her. Her back is just absorbing most of them that would be flying towards you guys. You run up. You now have a choice of you can go left, or there's a doorway.
Wait, we need our stuff. Oh no!
Wait, before we choose a door, will she fit through the door?
No, this door's too small for Lina.
I'm going wherever Lina's going, so I don't get a choice.
Eris, you're all charging forward. Get this moment where you can see the door. You're not really sure if it's locked or not locked, but you're not taking any chances. You guys watch as Eris just takes a running start, and as she's like running up, you're ready for her to like throw her shoulder into it when she just rears her head down, her horns just wham! It slams into the door. That door splinters open, just blows forward and knocks back out of the way. It opens up. You guys run out the door, and it takes a moment to you watch as Lina's running up. She looks back, and then she does what everyone else expected. She takes her shoulder, just runs into the wall the best she can. You brace yourself, B. You guys can hear it on the outside. You hear just hollow, just. She may have cracked the wall, B, but she does not break through. She hits it, smacks into it. She looks back, and sheer panic, she starts to run back down left. Starts to split away from the party. Just runs
Oh no!
She runs down that way. You guys run as you burst out through this door. This door leads right out to the courtyard. You guys start to spill out. And the moment you spill out, you can see a lot of prisoners in their free time. As you like burst out, a lot of the prisoners like look your way.
If it just causes panic, they'd have a lot of prisoners to deal with.
Run.
Can I shout
Okay.
that? Everyone run! It's coming!
Vale, are you shouting? Or Eris, are you commanding somebody to run?
Yeah, I'm gonna command somebody to run. Just like
Command the
first person I make
burliest
eye
person
contact
you can
with.
see. The
I was gonna say,
burliest.
no, command the most popular
And
person.
the Vale, are you shouting too?
I would love to.
So you come out screaming bloody murder. Run, run! Oh god, it's coming, it's coming! Start making this big fuss, and you can see immediately people, they start to look your guys' way. They kind of question that at first, and then they immediately say the person that Eris commanded to start running for like hell. I mean, I'm talking how you commanded him, Eris. He's just sprinting. He looks like he's just in a dead sprint, which causes another person to start running too, which initially creates this chain reaction of people suddenly just going in this wild panic as you guys start to run deeper into this big wild crowd that's now just dispersing in different directions. You can see the guards that were initially chasing you, they break out. It starts to thin out. The guards start to try to deal with other people as this whole person just goes in and out. Or everyone starts running in different directions. You can see people starting to jump and starting to climb the walls, trying to get over there, just getting away. Some of them probably don't even know why they're so scared. They just see everyone else is scared. You still do have guards coming towards you guys, but they are significantly less. You start to break across this big old courtyard. You actually see there's a place you're familiar with. So you look to the right, you can see the area where Lina had been locked up. Directly across the courtyard, in front of you, there's another entrance, and then there's an entrance to the left. So essentially, your choices are to go back to a place you're familiar with, forward or left. You guys start to part to the left. As you're coming up to this door, you guys run in. I said Vale and Beau. You notice it. The guards are not done coming out yet. A new type of guard dealt for more situations like this. These big stone-like creatures start to couple feet shorter than Lina. So they start to step out and start to deal with the crowd. As you guys come up, the door is not really locked, so you can blow it open pretty easy. You see about two of these stone guardians burst open the door. It seems that any guards that are inside are just now rounding the corner, so the hall is empty right now as you guys pour in. This is also a long corridor. Pretty much your choice is to go forward. Left and right is just going to bring you back towards the front. Alright, so you guys press forward. Bee! Yeah, she's doing her best. Unless you're telling her different, she's running into whatever direction she could do to keep herself running. You get to the point where she steps up. She sees this cubby. It's like a room, but without a door. She ducks behind it for a moment. You see a couple of guards run by, and the guards disperse for a moment. As a few of them kind of run back the direction you guys were coming. And it just takes a moment. She catches her breath. She puts her back to the wall and slowly slides down and takes a seat. The place that you're in is 10 foot long, 5 foot wide little cubby. You can see different boxes and barrels. You can also see on the far wall away from where Lina's sitting, there's actually like a stack of coffins, presumably empty, because there's about like 6 or 7 of them just stacked up right there. As you're sitting there, you can feel the heavy breathing from Lina, which is almost comparable to normal winds outside. She seems to peek around the corner. Finally, just sit back, sigh, and relief. She looks down to you. Are you okay?
Yeah, are you? You kind of took a nasty hit there.
Oh, yeah, I'm alright. Takes a look. You see a few arrows protruding from her arm. She takes her arm and tries to brush them off. A lot of them just scrape off of her skin. She's definitely injured. You can see they start to freshly bleed, and you can see the pain across her face, but she seems to hold it in pretty well. She doesn't break down and cry or anything.
I think just this random small alleyway just doesn't seem right. I wanted to do a perception to see if there's anything off. Is there something that looks like it's been moved recently?
It's kind of hard because of all the running, the bumping. You're already halfway down her shirt. The tip of the shirt is like at your nose, and so you're like just struggling to look up. You throw your binded hands like over over and like pull yourself up. Start to look around. See Lina takes notice. She's like, are you looking for something? She, at this point, she pulls you out and gets you in her hand again.
In my brain, this alleyway doesn't fit here, so I thought there might be something that could, like, if there's like a secret thing here somewhere. Because I feel like it should be a hallway of some sort. There's no door, you know what I mean?
You made her aware of this. She's helping you. Notice it's fairly clean. It definitely seems like it's maintained. Like the entrance is clean, middle of the room is clean. Any part where you'd have to like pull stuff out of the way and like sweep under it is not clean. You do notice beyond that there are like scuff marks on the ground. A lot of the stuff has actually been dragged in here, especially the coffins. A lot of different scuff marks lead over there because these coffins seem to have little small legs that they lay on. And she's helping you out. You do notice there is a section towards the back. There's a section that is almost discolored. There's the normal brick, but then there's like what you could imagine would be like a door.
I'm gonna tell her that. I'll ask her if she could like move the stuff out the way. If there's like a way to like push it open.
Pointing it out to her, she notices it too, so she takes some of the boxes. Not hard for her. Picks them up and moves them out of the way a bit. Looks at the wall, messes with it for a moment, presses her hand to it, pushes it. Pushes in and falls back. It's not really the intended way to open it, but it opens this place. Whatever it is, it looks like a dugout. The immediate start, a lot of the brick has been beaten away, chipped at. It seems to stretch back out into this open area. Lina takes the initiative. The actual entrance is about 10 foot tall, so she actually has to get down and crawl a bit. You find yourself parting way to a small garden. You break free. It opens up to clear sky above you, and you can see there's a few other pathways that lead in different directions. One of them seems to lead back into the building from another direction. The other two go underground and seem to be a tunnel network. As you break through, it's like a 10 foot wide, 30 foot long. As far as you can see, it's like a blind spot. You don't know why or how this was built into this prison. As Lina stands up, looks around, you can see there's a couple of small trees, a few flowers. You're now out on Earth.
We need to find a way to get these fucking things off of me.
Do you think we should go in one of these tunnels?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the only option right now.
You can see she walks around. The one that goes in is very similar to the one that you came in. It goes into the prison. It kind of goes in and goes to the left, so you can't really see the exit door unless you actually follow it. As she steps up, she peers down at the two holes. One of them that goes at a 45-degree angle and then flattens out, and then the other one, it drops and then goes deeper. That one, if you jump in, unless you're good at climbing back out or flying, you're not coming back out of that one.
I'll ask her if she could go down into the tunnel, like back into the prison, but not the one we came through.
She nods. She goes in, starts to crawl, makes a left, starts to head down. It gets a little intricate. You notice that all of this is like brick that has just been chipped away. Whatever tunnel this is, it has been here for a long time because this took some time to dig out for sure. As you crawl your way through, it comes out into another, what appears to be a secret door. It dead ends at that door. Your ears pick up, and Lina even helps you. She holds you up to the wall, and she notices you're trying to listen. There may have been like a scuffle every now and then, but you get a feeling it's like guards like running by. Now wait until it is silent.
Once it's silent, I'm gonna ask her to carefully attempt to open it, or at least like just push or pull it if there's a pull tab.
She pushes on it and then pushes forward. As it pushes forward, now being aware of it, the moment it breaks loose and would fall forward, she manages to slip her hand in and grab the top of it. So now she just softly lets it down. As you look in, it's another tunnel, but it looks like this one was intentionally made. The brick is smooth, essentially like a secret tunnel that goes into a secret tunnel. And nobody is seemingly taking notice as far as you're concerned. As Lina kind of helps you peer in, you look. There's two different ways. To the left of you, it goes and then takes a sharp turn and goes deeper in. But to your right, you actually notice that there is a stops. There's like a little notch. Almost looks like it's something to stand on. And then it stretches up. And then at the top of this 10-foot tunnel, there's like a little slit and like 3 foot wide. It peers into the room, and through that little slit, you can actually see light pouring through. Lina looks at both ways curiously, waiting for your next move.
Let's go.
She crawls in. She goes through like a small set of bins before eventually it bottoms out, and there's now an intentional door, like a wooden door. It has a few bars that let you see through it. As far as you can tell, you can't hear anybody. It is silent right now. You actually peer through. As far as you can tell, it appears to be a form of barracks. There is a room that has chests and dressers full of either clothes, armor. You can see weapons line the walls. You can see a door pretty much like at the opposite corner of where you're at. The door that you're at right now is in the corner. Door across is presumably like an entrance of some sort.
And there's like no one in there.
No one is in there.
Is the door locked?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask her to see if she could get through the wall, and if she can, to go and block the other door. If she cannot, crawl back as fast as she can.
She tries to position herself. She has to turn around kind of awkwardly. She rolls over and she gets on her back, takes her feet, presses them up against the wall of the door. You see she focuses. She actually holds you away, and heat starts to rise. You see the runes start to spread again as heat emanates off of them. She's going to try and quite literally just push this wall out of the way. Eventually you see it starts to give a little bit. The heat starts to cause the stone to glow. It's like deep orange. It gets hotter and hotter. Finally, after just one swift, she gives it a hefty, almost kick. The wall just it makes some noise, but the door flings back, hits the other side, essentially creates an opening.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm assuming that made a lot of noise. Someone told her to go block the other door.
She nods, situates herself again, crawls in, and gets in a way where she blocks the door. She actually just like sits down in front of it. She looks to you. Oh, now what?
Okay, so put me down, and while I'm hopping around trying to find a key, I'm gonna find like the beds and like big dressers and like whatever looks heavy and put it in front of the door so you're able to move too.
She nods, puts you down, lets you start hobbling around, and she starts to reach forward, gets up, picks up the heaviest thing. She takes a bunch of the chests, some of the dressers, and just starts to pile them against that door.
So I'm trying to find a key.
I'm looking around, it's a little hard. Struggling, and Lina helps you when she can. As you peer around, look around, eventually there's like this cabinet, just a set, all whole sorts of different sets of keys. As that pulls to your attention, you realize it's locked, but with the help of Lina, she manages to break the lock loose, heating it up in her strength. She breaks it, busts it off, throws it off to the side. It swings open, you take a look, and there is undoubtedly a key that will unlock your shackles. You have the magical shackles. It's almost this tealish, bluish hint of energy that keeps you locked into place. You get a feeling that the shackles do more than just bind you. They bind you magical ways too. And you can see a set of keys, like same metal, same aura to it. As Lina pulls it off, gets to work. Takes a moment, but eventually shackles, they pop open, fall to the ground.
Oh, thank fuck.
You are free, Bee. As you free, we'll bring the attention back to the rest of the people. Coming back to the party that's actively running away from guards. There's definitely less, but there's still some I'm taking a notice to you. You guys open the door, break through. You decided to go forward. As you're going forward, it almost looks like you're heading towards another entrance. You're seeing a lot of stuff that reminds you of the entrance that you guys came into. Beau and Eris, you start to feel the burn in your legs. Your lungs start to burn. You're like, starting to really feel the exhaustion build up on you. As you're pushing forward, if you keep going forward, you're just going to end up going to the front gate, and there's most likely guards there. So here's what you see. It's not a perfect three-way. You can keep going forward. The closest way to go, pathway, closest one goes to the left, and then there's one that's a little further up, probably about 20 feet past that goes to the right. So your guys' choice.
Let's go right.
Vale, you do notice the first one that you pass, it is roofed. You push past it, go forward, you hit the right, you guys immediately take the turn, go deeper into that tunnel. That one is not roofed. That one is still open to the sky. You hit a point now, you can go right, or there's another door going forward.
We ran down the door.
Once again, Eris, you see her start getting this running start, and again, she just rears her head down, just like a ram, just hits the door. Can hear it sounds like you probably busted like a padlock. Bust in and come running in. This room is a complete dead end. You quickly look around, it looks like a type of barracks. There's chests, there's weapons and stuff that like line the wall. There's definitely like a locked container for keys.
Do I have time for a quick detect magic?
You cast detect magic, Veil. There is a magical item here. It is locked away. This magic item is the key. Start running back towards the courtyard. Start pushing down that hallway. You start heading back towards it. We're gonna jump back to Bee really quickly. You are free. You and Lina are in this small little barracks. She has quite literally barricaded the door for almost every piece of furniture in this room. What are you and Lina doing?
I just wanted to take a quick peek around and see if I could yoink some sort of weapon.
There's plenty of swords and stuff here if you want to grab one.
Yeah, I'll grab a sword. Since that's barricaded, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be good for all of it. So I'm gonna tell her I'm gonna start walking to the tall area with the platform and shit. And for her to like follow.
Yeah, she's just going to start crawling behind you. Start making your way over. You do make it there a little quicker than her, but eventually she does make it. I'll say I'm pretty sure this is too high for you. You can't really see over it unless you either get Lina to pick you up or climb up the walls somehow. She will grab you and lift you up if you want to look through.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask her to lift me up.
You lift it up and you peek through, start looking, scanning through this area. There's a lot of chests in there. There's even stuff on shelves, all sorts of different items. These shelves are caged off a bit, but as you look around, you get a pretty good feeling that this is where all your shit is.
There's no way I could like go through the little hole, is there?
You can fit through the hole.
I can?
Yeah, you're small enough. You.
Once I fit through the hole, I'm gonna tell her, give me 1 second. I think this is where our stuff is.
It takes some time. You're shuffling through and you're looking. You even had a moment where you had to like stop and even hide because you hear some guards like shuffle up. Thankfully for you, they shuffle past the door and don't seem to take much notice. You hide away. A couple of these chests are locked and you start to curse under your breath. You try to test a couple of them. They lock. And you're thinking like, oh shit, what if this has my shit in it? You're kind of looking around. You don't find everyone else's stuff. One of the chests that swings open. Quickly look into it. Undeniably, your blunderbuss, your guns, all your equipment in there.
My shit.
You do take a particular interest, and you get a pretty good feeling you know who it's for. There's a set of leather armor. It's a bit of a furred armor too. It's separate because this room it's decently sized. You push back, it parts way into this bigger spot. There's equipment that is hung up on the wall. There's that furred armor, a few chains, hand axe. There's like a blade that protrudes from the bottom and from the top. Dagger, but it is massive. Due to the size of it, it has to unmistakably be Lina's stuff.
Could I drag it over the hole?
The hole is way too small for this equipment.
Can make sure there's no guards going past the door and then peek out the door.
Yeah, right now you're good. There's nobody there.
Okay, I would like to peek out the door and try to see more or less if I recognize where we are.
You don't. Do you want to try to find the rest of the party?
Yeah, I'm not gonna leave Lina behind.
I mean, Lina could break in if she wanted to. She's just waiting for you. I mean, it's a wall. She could do similar to what she did earlier.
Oh!
She could try.
I'll tell her to try to break through it. It's gonna be loud, but try to make it as quiet as possible just so she has enough time to get her shit first.
You wait a few moments and you hear her reshuffling herself. Sure enough, with some time, you see the wall breaks through. The bricks come crumbling down. She kicks them out, more or less. She crawls out, gets into the room where she can stand more freely now. She still has to crouch just a little bit, but it's better than the tunnel. She comes, takes notice of her stuff, and begins to take it all, suit back up, putting her armor back on, drops it over her clothing, buckles it up, she grabs her axe.
Well, first off, because she's sweet, so I'm gonna ask her, is she gonna be upset if we have to fight?
No, I guess not. I would prefer not to. I don't like fighting a whole lot, but I can if I need to.
Okay, so just fight enough to protect yourself, okay?
She nods.
Secondly, I'm pretty sure this place has all of my friend's other stuff, so I think the best course of action is me and you go out there and try to cause just enough of a ruckus so they could find this place.
She's nodding along, Bee. So you want to step out and try to make some ruckus?
Before I do, I'm gonna ask her very politely, is she okay with loud noises?
Yeah, I can make loud noises.
No, I mean like if someone else makes them, like they're not gonna like hurt you by chance if they may or may not be near to your ears.
She like kind of shifty eyes, I guess.
Okay, so
she doesn't seem to fully comprehend what you're saying.
Bees very politely, in the best way he can, ask when they go outside to start this ruckus if I could be either on her shoulder or on top of her head.
Oh, she picks you up and puts you on her shoulder.
Okay, I'm warning her that my guns make loud noises beforehand.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. I guess it's showtime.
She nods. She pretty effortlessly. You can see the runes spread down her arm. Starts to make big ruckus. She takes the axe, starts hitting the walls, starts just breaking the place. Just doing what she said. She's trying to make as much sound as she can.
Okay, she took it a lot more literally than I expected. Cool, okay. I mean, B's not mad. He doesn't like these guys. He's gonna start yelling. He's gonna be like, what's that? We got tieflings, a changeling, and what else? Basically, I'm just gonna yell, hey, fuckos. Over here. And then I'm gonna turn around and like really politely tell Lina, it's like, okay, I'm gonna make a loud noise, just be ready. And once she acknowledges, I'm gonna shoot my fucking guns in the air.
As you... She seems to jump a bit, but seems to be mostly alright. And she keeps continuing around, just causing ruckus.
Cool, I'm gonna apologize. I'm so sorry. I know it's loud.
The rest of you guys easily start to hear just something being demolished in the distance. You can hear this deep rumbling of just... These flames just up into the air, and you can hear unmistakably bees.
The boomstick! Pheonix!
You guys start heading that way. You run across. You actually cut back across where Lina had been knocked away. You see all the ruckus. At this point, it's starting to get handled. A lot of these big stone creatures are like gathering people up, pushing them where they need to be. At this point, there's like 10 of them out in the courtyard. You quickly rush past, start to push past back that way, around the corner, and you can see Lina and Bee on their shoulder, just making this huge ruckus, just knocking shit out and breaking walls and just making noise.
Where did she get? What?
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna point to where we got our shit from.
I'm gonna run to get.
I was about to say, Amira's immediately fucking getting her shit.
I need my violin! Give it back!
Between all four of y'all do manage to find your stuff again. Take some time to get it on. As you're getting them back on, you can hear guards start to approach, which Lina and Bee manage to fend off. Before you get too much further, you can see the big stone creatures start to pull around corners, start heading that way as well. Start to pull through. Bee, go ahead on me a dexterity saving throw.
What the fuck are these rolls today?
I know! I don't think any of us have rolled well.
Bee, I need to speak to you real quick.
Oh, shit.
Oh no.
Oh,
no.
no.
Bye!
He had really low health, didn't he? Because of the.
Yeah, the fireball at the beginning was like 20. Yeah, so if he falls, that could be very bad.
Alright, you guys, Lina and Bee are fending off. You hear a strange sound. It kind of pulls attention for a bit. You hear a strange snapping, wisping sound. You guys watch.
Oh no.
The ray, it strikes into Bee. Bee gets hit. You see his chest caves in and dust reverberates. You see a shot cross his face. As Bee falls back, the force knocks him off of Lina's shoulder. You can see as he's falling, Bee disintegrates.
Oh my god!
I knew it.
See,
Damn
it
it.
strikes into him. It becomes a pile of dust. Lina snaps around, looks in pure shock. Seeing that Bee's gone, knocked off, killed. She looks over and something seems to change in her. Her eyes widen, starts to scream to leave him alone, leave him alone. But as Bee hits the ground, gone. Runes start to spread along. She rears up, her weapons ready. Her whole body lights ablaze. You see her hair quite literally starts to turn to flames. You guys can feel heat radiate off of her. Her skin turns this orange, starts to rush forward. Oh, this is nothing short of a massacre. Is she kicking, swiping, burning? She lays waste to these guards. A lot of the area around it singes, it burns. I'm talking, she gets hot enough that the brick of the place is literally melting as she steps across it. As she's doing this, you guys grab her things as you get your items back.
You need a body for Revivify, don't you?
Totally right.
But there could be something in these chests.
You guys see there's a color, a new one that you've yet to see. Orange flashes. It's more smooth than a flash. Flashes seem to swirl around this pile as it takes it, seeps in. You see it pop. The ashes suck in. You guys watch. Single, same goblin hand you've been used to just it like pops up out of the dust. As you take a moment, Bee, your body reforms. And there is Bee, you gotta take a big deep breath. You couldn't breathe that whole time as you hit the ground. You're coughing, not gonna I would say Bee at this point is butt ass naked. All of it just on the floor.
I'm gonna take my jacket off and just, it's like a hug cover, like, oh my god, Bee!
Does that happen when everybody dies here?
No.
You get a pretty long cloak. It's definitely way too big for you, but...
Because it's too long, I would like to take the underneath of the cloak and like wrap it through the front of my legs.
You know what? You can keep it. You can keep it.
It's fair. It's too long. I wouldn't be able to move. Bee's definitely gonna ask what the fuck happened then.
You just poofed. She didn't like that. So now she's this.
Ha.
Yo, let's not get too close.
I assume you guys are making a run for it, getting out of there.
I mean, no?
I'm not.
No.
You want to stay for Lina?
I am going to attempt to calm Lina down. Not looking back at what everybody else is doing. Bee's gonna run over there, walk through the heat as best he can, and like shoot in the air, just yelling her name.
Push past, you manage to fire off a couple. Takes a moment, this form looks over to you. The shock, and almost like a candle flame being pinched. It just seems to disappear. Lina, she comes running up, bends down, scoops you up, Bee. Oh my god, you're alive!
Apparently.
She looks you over. Wait, how?
I don't know, but there was a weird voice. It's not really a long story, but I don't know what to explain it. And honestly, I like what you've done with the place. And his voice kind of cracks saying that.
She looks around. You see she's upset. We should get out of here.
That's what I was gonna say. We should just like. He's leaving like a point behind him, like wherever the exit may be.
guys head out. You guys leave the city, head back out into some forest area. You get to a point where you believe you're safe. Lina carries Bee the whole time, finally sets him down as you get safe. You all have your stuff back, don't forget. Lina sets Bee down, she stands back up. Thank you for helping me.
He's gonna like scratch his head and be like, well, I feel like I should apologize because you kind of got mad from.
Oh, well, no, that's just, I mean, I did, but I try not to be like that. I get it from Virus. I don't want to be all like him. I mean, his power is to help, but I don't want to be a mean monster the whole time.
Bee is going with the sweetest goblin smile, kind of smug, because you know it's Bee. And he's gonna say, wholeheartedly, from the bottom of his heart, looking at her, saying, if it's any consolation, it was pretty, and he's gonna take a pause, hot, and then he's gonna do finger guns.
She looks off a bit, back to you. Yeah, Fire's really hot.
Did it alleviate some of the tension at least?
Anyway, I guess I'll let you guys get back to what you're doing. I'm gonna go find my dad.
Wait, actually, you said you could contact him.
Oh, she nods.
And then he's gonna be like, one second. And he's gonna turn out to the party. He's like, do we have anything to do?
Well, midnight kind of screwed us over.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're at now. Well, if we find her, we find her. That's...
We're only fugitives in 2 cities, and also just destroyed a
God.
literal entire prison.
Okay.
We're probably gonna have the
Okay.
entire Elvish army after us. What are we doing here? I don't know what to do.
Look, from what I understand, the Fae are pissed.
Why?
I don't know. All I know is that from what I heard, they are pissed. And from what I know, that is not good. We need to at least get in contact with them. And I think she is our best bet.
I only know how to get a hold of Virus. I don't know anything else.
Yeah, but your dad might know something.
I think my dad would try to kill you guys. He's not a very friendly person.
So what's your plan with contacting him?
Well, I would like to try and make him stop doing that, but I gotta find him first.
There's no way we could like call or like send him a message at least.
I mean, we could, but I don't know if it would do any good.
But you're just gonna sit there just racking his brain. You can see him physically strain.
It's okay. I'm sure we'll meet again. She'll like pat you on the head, Bee, but she has to do it with like just her finger. For now, I'll leave you guys, but good luck on your adventure. She gives you 2 thumbs up before she begins to step off, and she actually starts to head towards the north.
So not only do we have probably the entire Elven army looking for us because of, you know, that, Romera
Yeah,
is
you're
gonna
right.
be pissed.
You guys watch a white little dove. It comes flying across, comes flying up, flies right up to you, Bee. It has a little note in its claws, drops it to you. Take it up, you read it. It's from Rocky, and you can send a note back if you want. Somebody has taken up your quest.
B has a shocked expression, and then it turns into a somewhat wicked smile. And then he's gonna look at the player as like, I know where we're going next.
Where?
Actually, 1 second. Because you said I could respond, so I might as well respond. He's gonna say, awesome, thank you. Where do I need to go?
You write that down, Bird takes a note up, and you see it begins to flutter off and fly that way. You want to start heading that way?
Yeah.
Takes about a week of traveling. The bird finally comes back. Flies back down to you. He pretty much just tells you just need to come back to the tavern. Also,
well.
even with a week, he says that the guy has been waiting there for you. It's also a strange guy. He has not eaten or slept the whole time. He also doesn't look normal. Rocky seems to really point out the fact that he doesn't have legs. He kind of floats.
I'm a little bit worried.
He also describes he has fire for hair. Weird fire.
Oh no.
He looks like an undead. Honestly, Rocky goes into a description of like, honestly, he probably wouldn't have wanted this guy in here if he wasn't so friendly to start with. He's very intimidating. It's very obvious in his letter. Rocky's like, I don't like this guy. For the sake of it, you spend last week traveling, make it back to Prime. The streets still as bustling as ever. Make your way back to Rocky's. You actually see Rocky's at the front door, and there are guards and people. They are carrying out like bodies. He seems to be overseeing the whole thing. He kind of notices you guys, waves you down. Bodies that they're pulling out are devils. Various monsters that have come from the Nine Hells. As the guards are picking them out, throwing them onto a wagon, Rocky seems to utter a few things to them. They give a nod and a salute, and they wheel them off. You guys approach. Rocky looks at you guys. Oh, you've made it back. Wonderful, wonderful. How were your travels?
You don't want to know.
They were okay. He's gonna like look past and just be like, what happened?
There was an attack. There were devils coming in claiming they had some kind of business with me, but thankfully everyone that stays at the tavern, we all try to treat each other nicely. I treat them good and they treat me good, so I'm in safe hands. Devils are dealt with.
What did they want?
Where
from
the
me?
hell did they come from?
He shrugs. I have no idea. I just know they attacked the tavern and, well, all the patrons were not having it.
So that's good enough for me.
Anyway, go deal with that guy. He's creeping me out.
Is he just still sitting there?
He nods. Yes, I've never. He He kind of like bends down, gets a little quieter to you, Beau. I'm going to be honest, I've never seen a person like this before.
When you were describing him in the letters, it sounded a bit scary.
He's very creepy, so...
I'm walking on in.
As you walk in, you immediately notice he's so easy to spot, not only because of his unique appearance, but there's like a 20-foot circle of people just away from him. Like nobody's getting near this guy. And you can see he's sitting there, he's patiently, his fingers are tapping on the table. He's just minding his own business.
I'm going and sitting at the table.
No, yeah, you take notice immediately. It was the guy that was on the coffin. He's sitting there, the only one with like enough balls to walk up to him and take a seat down.
Yeah, I'm audibly gonna say, whoa.
He's like looking up, his head snaps to you. He leans in. You think he's squinting, but you can't tell because he ain't have no eyes. And then she's like, oh, hello there. He reaches his hand out.
I'm shaking it.
Shaking it? His hand is cold. It's good to meet you. It's good to meet you. Oh, you're my business partner.
If you're the one that's taking up the quest, then yes.
I absolutely am. You're the one looking for that elf, right?
Yes.
Ah, perfect, perfect. Takes his hand, rubs them together. Wonderful. Well, that's easy enough for me. You just want me to find the guy.
And tell me where he's at.
No, super easy. I can do that. That's it.
Ask him to get you the pendant. He can just like swipe the pendant.
Actually, that's a good idea. But no, I want to take his kneecap.
At least guarantee you've got the pendant.
Well, I mean, if you could also tell if he has my pendant on him at least, or if he could...
Yes, that's easy. I can do that. I'll do that right now. Here, just gestures. Take a step back.
Okay.
You can see he takes his hand, he traces through the air. Literal runes seem to draw into the air. His hands move in such a weird fashion. It's almost inhumane. They snap and bend. His finger bends in such directions you guys didn't even think was possible. It almost looks like he breaks his fingers a couple of times. Finally, he drags them down, and you see the flames on his head. They die out. His face hits the table like he just dies.
Bee picks his hands up like I didn't do it.
Takes a moment. Finally, the flames light back up. He pulls up. You hear him roll his head, and you hear it cracks a bit. It's like, oh yes, I found you, man.
Oh, cool.
Listen, don't worry about it. That just happens when I do my magic. Anyway, down south, curling, near the coast. He's fixing to take a boat.
Did he have the pendant?
Yeah, he had the pendant, yeah. I assume that's a pendant. This is your pendant, right? He like makes a little image of it. Unmistakably your pendant.
Yes. Okay, you wouldn't happen to have checked where that boat is headed, would you?
I could find out.
I mean, if this is where B gets into business, though, he's like, well, I asked you to find him. I only have the 200.
Oh, that's fine. I would like to negotiate a different price, actually, for the sake of keeping your gold, that is. By the way, what's your name?
I'm B.
It is nice to meet you, B. You can call me Ephemeral.
Ethan, it's a pleasure to make you acquainted. Ethan?
Ephemeral. You can call me Ethan. I don't care.
Sure, yeah. That pendant is worth a lot more to me than pretty much anything, so.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I don't want to go, but it really doesn't do me much good.
I mean, fair from the looks, I don't think you really need to go. Can you eat?
I can eat. He looks around. He takes up just like a random mug.
Did he eat the mug?
Did he eat the mug?
He ate the mug.
B's going to take out his hand again and be like, I think this is going to be a wonderful friendship.
Listen, here's my price. You can decline it if you want. All I want is I simply want to join y'all for a bit. Is that alright?
I mean, I'm fine with that, but I would have to speak it over with my colleagues.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
I
yes.
don't like this.
I want to know why.
So we do recognize him.
He was on the coffin.
Vale's stupid as fuck. So, you know he's
I would like
asking
to
him about it.
slap Vale's mouth shut.
So
It'll be
what-
Amira, Beau, slap on his head.
I'm also slapping
Yeah,
him.
I'm willing to
everyone.
tackle Vale if it means that he shuts up.
I would like
To the
point
ground.
out, I was slowly walking towards them while I'm seeing this happen.
Vale, wait, before you
What?
say anything.
But wasn't
Before you
he
say
that guy
anything.
on the
Before you say
coffin?
anything.
He was the guy, right? He was on the like where that god thing that tried to kill us was in the basement.
Are you just gonna turn around back to Ethan? Like, I have no idea what's going on.
He laughs a bit. Yes, I am the guy from the coffin. Yes. I can understand your concern. I was also there, yes.
Wait, you were there?
Well,
What?
Yes, I saw you guys, just like he did too. I'm not here to cause any harm. Actually, like I said, I want to join you guys for a bit.
Can we ask why?
I'm bored.
That's good enough for me. Let's go get the fucker.
Listen, my name is Ephemeral. You guys do realize that is just fancy talk for the finite.
So you're like the
Ethan looks
opposite
like
of
a
me.
guy to be,
no,
guys. I
no,
think
no.
you could join us for a bit.
So he's finite instead of infinity?
I'm still technically infinity, but I'm also not him. I'm technically infinity, but I'm not infinity. Does that make sense?
So, what are your feelings towards Infinity?
I mean, I like him, but I don't like him too.
Mixed feelings, I get that.
I mean, think about it like this. Infinity takes over a lot of people, an infinite amount of people. Each and every person is different. Just think about it like this. With an infinity amount of people, there's 100% chance that somebody like me would spawn up and be produced from him, like an opposite version of him. Or like two sides of the same coin.
So,
So
you
if
need
you're-
him to exist.
Kind of.
If you're out here, how is he in there?
Oh, he got out.
Oh my god, what? He got out?
Well, I couldn't have got out if he couldn't get out. That makes sense. But he broke out, so I figured I'd come out. And, well, remember back when he was kind of looking and checking in on you guys? I kind of saw the same. And I thought, hey, these guys are pretty cool.
But didn't he like try to
Exploring-
kill us?
Oh, yes, he did. I remember that.
So why aren't we dead if he's out?
I guess he didn't take any interest in you. He has bigger fish to fry.
I want to know what those bigger fish are.
He shakes again.
So, you just think we're cool?
Yeah, is that a problem? Do I need to do more?
No.
He's a weird person to read. It almost feels like he's teetering back and forth. This guy is probably not right in the head. You can't make any sense of anything he's saying. Like one moment he might be like explaining something and then just like totally double back on it. It's weird. But he genuinely just seems like a powerful dude that is bored. I mean, we can like pretend you're like some kind of chosen one. I don't know. Mighty adventurers.
Wait, hold on. So you're telling me without anybody else opening that dungeon that he got out when we got out?
It was probably about an hour after he got out.
How
You opened the door and let him out?
I didn't let him out. He got himself out. And the fact that he escaped, I escaped too, so...
Were you the one who imprisoned Infinity?
No, it was me. The guards did that.
Why was your face in the
Never gave you
coffin?
Such a thing.
That I couldn't tell you. If I was in the coffin, I guess somebody likes me. I was commonly referred to as the King of the Stars. It's a bit of a title that's got quite a bit of following. I'm sure it had something to do with that.
What I'm hearing though is that if Infinity's out of there, that we should go back into that dungeon.
He's already
No.
shaking his head. Oh, no. That dungeon is ash. It's ruined. Everything got destroyed there.
Oh, what happened to the Tavern Keeper's plate?
I'm assuming it blew up. I don't know.
Oh, that's so...
I really wasn't paying attention. Was that a tavern?
Oh,
Yeah.
we did tell him that he probably should move. I hope he moved.
Oh, I remember. I'm getting ready to go back to sleep, but, next thing I know, I'm walking out of a crater. So, if there was a tavern there, that tavern's gone.
One second. I'm gonna walk to some of the people in the tavern, maybe Rocky, and be like, did you hear anything about, like, a tavern in this town just exploding? Did anyone look into it, if that happened?
He looks at you. No.
Really?
Not that I heard.
How do people miss a tavern
Yeah,
exploding?
how would they not see a crater? That's
Oh, I mean, it is Infinity.
true, but,
You could have just been like, you know what, this never existed.
I was about to say, do you remember a tavern?
Do we remember a tavern, Chili?
Yeah, no, you remember it all clear as day. You guys went in there. Everything you did there, you remember crystal clear.
Is there a crater in the town? Just a well-known hole in the ground. It's...
No.
Right. Okay. Huh. Yeah, that guy is really strange.
I mean, yes. He kind of nods and agrees.
Thanks for answering my questions. I know I sound
I really
crazy.
want to go see if this crater is there now.
I'd be surprised if people just missed it. I know it wasn't a popular tavern, but still.
So can we get these guys kneecaps and my pendant?
No, sure.
If you're like
I'm looking
all
at the rest of the party
magic-y,
as well.
couldn't you just teleport them here?
Oh, you talking to me?
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I could try. Let me try.
Save us from walking.
Well,
It's even one to try. I don't trust him at all.
You say you want to travel with us? That's the payment you want?
Yeah, pretty much. Just let me travel with you for a while. See what you guys do. See, I just want to experience the world a bit. Like I said, I've been sleeping for a very long time. I would like to see what's going on in the world nowadays.
You're not even planning on this being a permanent thing? Just for a little bit, from the sounds of it? Or...
Are you suggesting you want it to be a permanent thing?
No. I'm just wondering because...
No. I mean, you guys are just fine with me hanging out for a couple weeks, a couple days maybe. I don't know. I'll leave whenever I feel like it, I guess. And I feel like I've gotten thorough knowledge of what's going on. I may kind of get mixed two thumbs to the right. I've kind of split. I assume you guys are fine with that.
I mean, it's Bee's quest.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, B is fun to say, but B, I don't know if we should do this.
At this point, Rocky steps up among me. He actually pulls you off, Beau. Hey, listen, you're a bard, right?
I am.
This quest has popped up, and it seems to be kind of bard specific, so I've kind of been showing it to all the bards I find in the tavern. Here you go, hands it to you.
What's the quest?
It is specifically another bard asking for help. She actually wants help finishing a song. She's in Curseford, and she's explained that she's actually been killed. The city there is taking a dark turn. The city itself is becoming a human-dominated city. To put it simply, the humans are very racist. They don't like other species. They don't like tieflings, dragonborns. Anything that's not human, they don't want in the town. So the people have been going through and literally slaughtering people, and she has fallen victim to one of them. However, she can't really pass on. She thinks it has something to do with her wanting to finish her mark on the world because she is a big boss. She also wants her brother to be safe. Her brother's in the city too.
Here's the problem with that quest. I think I'm the only person that could go. We have 2 tieflings, a satyr, and a goblin.
You're a changeling.
Yeah, I know. I can change into a human.
Shape change.
Yeah, I can shape change into a human.
They're also mere humans. What do you mean?
What?
They're just humans.
Yeah, but none of you are human. None of you even look human.
I don't want to look like that.
Well, no.
And he like scratches his tummy.
I am
Sure.
very happy with my appearance.
I mean, I'm happy with my appearance too, but if I'm going to go in here, I don't.
I think we just fight them all.
Vale, I don't know what you were taught, but humans are generally not less powerful than anyone else.
The humans from where I come are fucking stupid, so don't even.
Well, we're all
that explains
freaking
you.
stupid.
Well, you all want to start a war immediately.
Hey,
Like,
I am
immediately.
not on that side.
I've seen a
No.
post on TikTok that
I'm
said-
just not afraid to fight. If anything, I'm on your side, Beau, with this. I'd rather not start a war.
This quest also mentions helping her brother, so I don't really want to
Yeah.
put danger.
So if anything, some of us could go and form a protection squad.
I can
probably
probably
in
get you
prison
to
down
the
there.
brother.
You do seem pretty sneaky.
That is my job. Lay low, keep head down, getting through doors.
What is your job actually? Adventuring, but
Investigation. That's
Yes.
the entirety of my job.
alright.
My job is to look for things.
We should at least ask the guy if he could yoink the guy.
That's on you. He's your quest holder.
That's true.
Hey, I mean, to be fair,
I put no
like,
gold into this. The only investment I've ever made is that one's armor, and I'm just gonna like thumb point over to Eris.
Okay, actually, speaking of that, you remember when I saved you from being paralyzed at one time? Could you consider that a partial repayment of debt? Say, like, maybe 50 gold off?
Listen, Eris.
There's interest.
Much appreciated. But you understand, gold is gold. I'm already kind enough not to increase, interest. You're pushing your luck, because I'm not giving you interest. It's a flat rate, and I have no deadline.
whatever.
It just needs to be paid at some point, even little installments.
Fine.
I would say you guys do notice at this point that Ephemeral, he's just sitting there, his right hand's tapping on the table, kind of like he's impatient or like just jittery, and then like his left hand biting on his finger, like not his fingernails, his fingers biting on them and biting hard. And you hear him, he's like mumbling to himself, he's like, oh, could kill him, death.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want you to team anymore.
Okay. B, what do you want to do?
He's all yours.
B.
That's a special flower, that one is.
you're asking me what I want to do when my entire journey so far has been to find this fucking pendant.
That's really weird. He's gonna kill us. I don't like it.
I say, why not just take him with us to the fucking place?
Because of that, and then I casually, like, sneakily point to him. He's in, like, to the murmuring, and the.
You guys hear a snap. His index finger just bent back and broke.
Oh God.
He kind of just, oh.
Like, as I do that, Exhibit A. Exhibit A.
He literally snaps it back into place and like squeezes it. You hear it kind of, and then he looks at it again and starts wiggling it.
That's why.
Amira like puts her hands like under her arms like,
So he has a couple quirks.
No, you have quirks. I have quirks. Beau has quirks. Vale
you.
has quirks. Eris has quirks. That's an insane man.
What if he knows about the blue lights?
Should we even tell him about that?
Is he gonna change anything? If he could kill us, he's gonna kill us anyway.
I don't think we should tell him anything.
Okay, mister, I'm gonna tell him about the coffin.
At this point, if you look over to him, he's like, he takes a piece of silver, puts it on the desk, like holds it straight up, and then he just flicks it. Just goes flying.
You guys talk it over, whatever, and then I'm gonna walk on over and just start having a casual conversation with him.
You walk up,
God.
he looks at you, V, and he leans in, takes his hand, puts it on your shoulder. I could murder you very easily. Please remember that.
I'm gonna lean in, make sure no one else hears, and says, I'm used to that type of threat. And then he's gonna go back to his conversation like nothing happened.
He's gonna blink a moment. I didn't mean that as a threat. Wait, hold on. Anyway, you want your guy or not?
I do, but they over there discussing whether to trust you or not.
Oh, I wouldn't trust me. I hate me. Wait, no, that's not me.
No, Ollie, no, no. Chili has done this way too many times to us in all of the campaigns. I'm calling this shit now.
Watch the one time he not.
I don't care.
I'm gonna tell you right now, after those several comments, Amira is dead set, like, nah.
No way. Over Vale's dead corpse.
Sorry. There's a lot, and I mean a lot of voices. They are talking to me. They're saying very mean things. Sometimes they slip out a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm gonna fucking kill you.
The bee finds this amusing.
Anyway, if you want your guy, I could very easily get him here, but it's gonna cost you something. What kind of stuff do you have?
I have chainmail, leather armor, fire breath potion, hurdy-gurdy, tinker's tool, salt shaker shaped like a wizard's tower, opalescent conch shell that laughs when you hold it to your ear, and 2 new rings linked together.
You're lucky that a lot of human lives are very, very invaluable. More common ones, at least. You know what? I'll take that potion. A potion for your guy. Sounds fair, right?
So I give you this potion, you bring him here.
Nods.
Deal. I take out the potion, I put it on the table, puts it down, and then he says, wait, yes, it is a deal, but I feel like we should not do this here.
Oh, sure. Yeah. He gets up, floats away out through the front door, and then just goes like in the alleyway next to the building.
Yeah, I follow him. I'm gonna turn to the park and be like, y'all coming or not?
We'll come.
I'm sticking next to Beau.
I'm coming.
I'm cowering next to Beau too.
While I'm walking out, I'm gonna turn to Rocky and say, if you hear anything loud, it's just, you can ignore it. It's fine.
I don't care. If it's outside of my tavern, it's not my business.
Cool.
Ducks back in the alleyway, gets in a pretty secluded spot, turns back to you. How about this? It's good enough?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now that potion?
I have it right here and I'm holding it in my hand. It's like, once he's here and I see the pendant on him, it's all yours.
Sounds easy enough. Are you killing this man? Am I killing this man? How's this gonna work?
Oh, I could do it.
You're gonna do it? Oh, okay. I mean, I could chop him up, I could slaughter him, I could make him see unexplainable horrors, nightmares.
He owes me.
Yeah, fair enough, huh? You see, he takes a moment and begins to trace through the air different symbols this time. And again, his hands move in such a very strange manner. His fire. He doesn't fall to the ground. He does go limp. His head falls back, but he still floats up in place.
Those couple moments while he's away, I'm taking out my blunderbuss and getting it ready.
He takes a few moments of flames. The moment they reignite, you see energy burst off his body. The individual just pops up. Same guy, he's missing a leg. Pops in, and you see he's taking him back, shaking. He's like, oh, what the hell? Looks around, it's him real. Pulls himself back out. Alright, there's your guy. Potion, please.
1 second. I go to the guy and take the pendant. I will search him. And the moment I have the pendant in my hand, I'll hand the potion over to you.
Fight you for a moment, panicking. Any attempt to run, if Imriel stops him, floats in the way, keeps him from going, will grab him if he needs to. But he doesn't do anything to hurt him. Takes a moment, but eventually you pull out a pendant. It's your pendant, me.
I hand him the potion.
He takes it up.
And then I proceed to take my blunderbuss and put it against the fucking elf's head.
Can we not make a loud boom? Can we do anything else?
It's not gonna be that loud. Everything's gonna be quiet real fast. And then he pulls the trigger before she can finish talking.
This guy's head just becomes like a splattered water mine. See his body just falls over. See Ephemeral, he kind of takes the potion, he drinks it, then he eats the glass behind it. You hear it like crunching. He's like, that's pretty interesting. He then vomits. It's like this strange, like purplish orange mixture just pours out of his mouth. Brings himself back up, wipes his mouth. Oh yeah, I forgot that happened.
Gonna shake hands one more time with you. He said, pleasure doing business with you. I hope we can get a...
Well, I mean, I'm staying, so yeah.
You didn't give him the gold. You didn't give him the gold.
You invited him.
That was the payment, remember?
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm down. Let's go.
Yeah, I love your staying.
Oh my God.
Oh, Bee's happy about the Bee. He has his pendant. He's ecstatic.
Well, the 4 of us are leaving. I don't want to be an assistant to murder.
Bee, we'll see you in a couple months. Bye.
You guys are walking away. Ephemeral looks to you, Bee. Oh, hey, what's your favorite kind of item?
I really like my guns.
I mean, like something you can wear.
I don't know. I'm not really one for armor.
It's not armor. Like a ring, or a necklace, or a hat, or earring.
I mean, I like this earring right here, and he like points to his earring on the left ear.
So, earring?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Kind of takes a moment, wisp. His body materializes into fine mist, swirls around. As it swirls around you, it comes through, and right next to your ear, you don't really feel anything. You don't feel any pain or any pricking, but right next to that earring is just another earring. It's got like the same color scheme as Ephemeral. You hear him echo. Alright, well, if you ever need me, just call. I'm gonna be here. This is how I'll be watching, and have fun.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
We all walked away.
Yeah,
so
we didn't even see it.
He's there.
No, I'm walking. I'm trying to catch him.
What is the plan now? You guys heading to Persword?
I would like to do that quest. I'm a little bit worried about the party though, because it's super racist.
It's fine.
I'm sure we're fine.
The bard, they're gonna meet with you outside of Persword. It's not gonna be in it.
Okay.
It'll be easy to get to her, but the mission she wants you to do is gonna be going into the city. All right. So I assume, unless anyone has any objections, you start heading that way. You make your way down. You follow the instructions. Follow it. And eventually, you do manage to find a small little cave. As you come in, there's actually a dead body in here, and it looks like whatever the dead body was, it crawled in here. It crawled and eventually hit a point where it died. You actually notice it appears to be a kinku. If you investigate the cave for a moment, you can hear a soft voice. She welcomes you and greets you. Ghostly appearance. Takes the same look as the body. Oh, hello.
Hello.
I see you found me. Are
So
you here to
sorry.
help?
Yes, you need help writing a song?
Yes, please.
And you said you had a brother that you want to keep safe?
She nods. My name is Coco, by the way.
Coco.
She nods.
My name is Beau. It's nice to meet you. I'm so sorry that that's awful. What's been going on in Persford?
I would like to prevent it from going any further for my brother and for anybody else. If you could you grab my journal over there?
Of course. He goes over to find it.
Yeah, you take a moment, you have to search through her bags, but you find it, her journal, as she appears to have been writing a song. She didn't get to finish it. As you look through it, the song's name, the title is I Am Me. And as you look it over briefly, it's a beautiful message actually. It's definitely a direct reference to her, and it's kind of talking about the kinku's curse. That's what the song is about. It's got lyrics talking about how melancholy nature of it all, having to always pretend to be somebody else, not having your own voice, having to hide what you truly feel about the world. And I mean, Beau, it resonates with you.
Yeah.
Almost the same situation as you. This kinku has been dealing with the same thing. She never had a voice of her own, and as you bring it over, she guides you, tells you these lyrics. Finishing song. I mean, it is a beautiful song. You finish, she smiles. What do you think?
It's a beautiful song.
Thank you. I wish I could have performed it. It would have been very nice.
Would you mind if I perform it at some point? I think that the song needs to be heard.
She opens her eyes. Oh, yes, that would be lovely. I would love to hear the song.
What instrument is it played on?
She had a little lute. It could easily be translated into your mandolin.
Then I'll pull out the mandolin.
She holds her hand up. Not here. I would like for more people to hear. If you could, in Persford,
Oh.
there are plenty of people like me, live in exile, have to hide. If you could you please free these people, help them?
He's gonna turn to the party. You said something about an uprising.
There's an easy way to identify them. They all have a very simple sign. And she takes her hands, and she actually makes just a little heart out of them. Thumbs pressed together, index fingers curled. That's their symbol. If any of them sees you do that, they'll know that you are on their side. Oh, and please, if you can, I would like you to find my brother and get him out of there. I don't want him staying in that city. I'm afraid he'll end up like me.
So your brother is also a kinku?
She nods.
Does he have a name?
He does. She utters his name, Beau.
Crap!
Your heart
Wait,
sings.
huh?
No!
Welcome to chapter 3.
What?
Her brother's name is Reprise.
My changeling with fighting armor.
I'm hold on, I'm looking on it.
She's got a hostage in her titties.
I don't think the hostage minds that much.
I knew it was gonna be disintegrate. Why is it always disintegrate?
Can I
Okay,
put
guys.
sticks?
Oh my god. Oh my god. They were bosom buddies.
Like I said, my life might not be chronic, but my ass was iconic.
Rocky's the tavern keeper, that's cool.
Rocky blushes.
Aw.
The best part of D&D is the war crimes you commit along the way. Kind of.
What about Bee?
Could put him in a stroller.
He could be like, we could put him like a leash.